on the go. Found a bit of material, and I haven't got much left of the thin canvas, but yeah, I'm having another little project on the go. So, getting into my little treasure box, and yeah, finding a few bits I'm needing. Not a lot really today, but yeah, there's another China graph. Anyway, that's what I'm using today. A nice thread matching the canvas. I'm gonna need a lot of tea to finish this project. That's why I'm just putting this right here. Yeah, I had a bit well, a new idea. It's an old idea, but well, as you see, I'm getting a bit ready for a longer trip, and what I have done in the past, I did actually carry a nylon tarp as either as a second, like an extension, like an alternative to the main tarp, yeah, and I carried a poncho, a rain poncho. This is the Expect ultralight, yeah. It's all nylon, yeah, the tarp, and so it's the amount of items to carry and bulk that makes it up. And they're both only for one purpose only. And since I'm rather like to do multi-purpose or use multi-purpose items, well, I got my Canvas Tarp, which I can use as tarp, obviously, over a hammock, making a tarp tent, like if there are no trees or poles around, so I can actually set it up in a little hut, open up, and that's the trouble. It's an open hut, and so and it's a small space, yeah, compared to a tent. Even a tent, a two-man tent, is a small space, but it's lots more weight than a tarp. My tarp weighs about 1.5 kilo, 1.6 or something, yeah, the ultralight canvas tarp, which isn't too bad. Well, compared to the ultralight, this weighs only 300 gram or something, 350 gram, which is quite a difference. But consider that it's only one purpose use, yeah, not multi-purpose. So still need a poncho. So the idea is actually with the tarp, well, I'm skipping the tent because it's too heavy. It's almost 4.5 kilo, yeah, too heavy for the pack. So I decided to go for the tarp, which is 1.6 kilo, yeah, and to add up, but I haven't got the rain protection for walking, which would be a poncho. And because the extra extended space for little tent setup or hut tent, tarp tent setup, yeah, so I have a little awning in front of the tent to be able to make fire. A lightweight nylon would do, but I obviously plan to do a little bit for warmth and for cooking, a fire underneath in front of the tarp tent. That means I can't use a nylon, because when the sparks fly up, the tarp renders useless in no time and burns holes in it, yeah, so it starts raining then. And so the idea is actually to create a little project and like what I found, and it's the Soviet Plash-Palatka. The Plash-Palatka is basically a square piece of canvas sheet, yeah, can be converted into a poncho, a hooded sort of poncho type, yeah. You see this little moon shape thing on the side, yeah. That's actually just the shoulder, and the triangle there on the front, that's basically the hood that goes over the head, and you can wrap this thing around pretty much like a cloak, yeah, for rain protection. So the beauty of having a flat piece of material like with the tarp, a smaller bit of material, a square bit, which can be used as an awning, as a wind shelter, as a cloak, and doesn't burn. Well, doesn't get punched by sparks. So that's the thing. The thing is, I could buy one of these very cheap for something about 15 quid or so, but this is made of heavy tent canvas, yes, original, and it's bloody heavy. It weighs more than my tarp, which, you know, rendered. I could go with the tent in the first place then. So the idea is now, because I'm a wizard with some little items, yeah, that makes a big difference, yeah. I still got some of the canvas, the thin canvas left, which I used to make my tarp, right? It's not a lot, and this whole bunch weighs 800 gram, yeah? I don't want to use the whole lot, but the goal is to make a little sheet, little tarp, which I can use as a cloak, as a rain protection, and well, for walking like a poncho, yeah, and as a little awning, as well as wind shelter, sun shade, whatever, yeah, which isn't too heavy and can go with the tarp, yeah, or combined with the tarp. But to have a multi-usable little sheet that goes with the tarp. That's my project. Well, stay tuned. I try to keep it short and make it interesting, and I'm going to turn into a little wizard now. Yes. Yeah, I now have to prepare myself a bit, getting into the spirit. And yeah, I have what I have to do, because my beard getting a bit in the way with, I don't want that scored by all this visitoring or getting caught up in the machine, which we're on this way, that's why. And so I'm having a little bit transformation for a start, not a major one, just a little bit to keep my space clear, and yeah, just a braided wizard beard. Some of you may wonder, while it's quite a long one now, I hatch that and pamper that, not a lot, but for quite a long time. So this is, I stopped shaving, it must have been 5-6 years ago, something like that. So because I was fed up with all this which way around, this way around, with the shaving soap and all this getting cuts in my face every so often, and yeah, so I just thought, well, saves a bit money as well, and just by not getting, actually in winter it's really nice and warm, and in summer it actually cools down. I mean, you may not recognize that, but it is the case. In winter, yeah, I don't need a scarf, and that makes it all the better. Right, having a bit a red tail, yeah, look at that. So this doesn't get in the way in the machine, and what every wizard needs is a magic stick. Well, this is the one I'm using. Just tape measure. Yeah, that's my magic stick for now. That will do. And gets on with the magic. The old sewing machine, and abracadabra. What? I don't know. Abracadabra. Yeah, that's it. The sewing machine, that's what I need. And yeah, let's get prepared to it. Yeah, something I always have to think about when I'm playing with the mirror or for tiny spots. A little joke. A husband and a wife standing in the bedroom, and the wife is standing in front of the mirror, yeah, and just look at herself and say, well, oh, little husband, dear husband, I feel so old, I feel so fat and ugly, please do me a compliment, right? Well, the husband, well, as a good husband, yeah, he said, oh dear, my dear, your eyesight is spot on. I think it's a bit dark, but that's life, isn't it? It's not bright at all, but get on with it. Actually, I come back to the eyesight, because my eyesight isn't as good as it used to be either, so that makes a double joke for myself. I don't take myself serious anymore, and so shouldn't you. Yeah, as with every magic, it needs preparation. So I'm a bit in a pinch, because the material I got is not quite as white as the material the finished tarp thing I want to do. It wouldn't even reach the original size. My material is 170, 1 meter 70 wide. The original one should be 180 by 180. I got a length of 170 by 2 meter 80. So I'm actually longer than, but I'm missing out a bit on the side. So, but what I want to do, it is known that the original Plash-Palatka is a bit on the short side. So that means a square of 1.80 or 1 meter 80 by 1 meter 80 can be a bit short, and I'm what is it, 6'2" guy, and I want a little bit reserve in it. So I decided, once I have to add some sort of material to the side somehow anyway, I go for finished, stitched finished for 2 meter by 2 meter, right? So in the square. Plus I have to add 5 centimeter on each side for the turnover, yeah? The original one is like 5 centimeter, and on the other side it's 5 centimeter. That means it's 10 centimeter they used. So they started with a sheet 2 by 2 meter, turned 5 centimeter around on each side, and ended up with, well, actually they doubled that. So they lost 10 centimeter on each side in the Soviet Union. So what I'm doing, I do a shorter or smaller seam by only a centimeter, yeah, and double that plus a bit folding, so it makes an inch loss on each side, so it makes 2 inch in to add to the 2 meter, yeah, divided by 2, it's 1 inch on each side. And so what I need is basically a sheet of material that is 2 meter and 5 centimeter, right? No, anyway, like that. So, but yeah, I'm still in a pinch because I only got 170 instead of, so I'm missing actually 35 centimeter on each side, yeah, which I'm adding here. So this is basically, well, I only add 20 centimeter in the finished, but because I need a bit more for turnover and cut-offs and stuff, I go for, need a bit more. So on the side I actually have to add 35 centimeter. Yeah, I explain you how I do that. So originally they used 3 smaller lengths, added them together and make one big sheet 2 by 2 meter minus the turnover. So what I'm gonna do is I'm adding a bit material, but I have to do it like that. Right, so I only want 1 seam in the middle, just by shifting the material. The small 170 material I got, cut that in diagonal and shift that so it's getting wider, but actually I'm shifting it together, and I'll show you how I do that. Here's how the little magic happened. Well, I got a sheet of 170 wide, but I want that to be 2 meter, right? Well, 2000, and I got a sheet that's in the length of 280, yeah. So what I'm gonna do to extend that, I actually cut a piece of from here to here 240, yeah, 2 meter 40 by 170. So what I'm gonna do, I actually cut that diagonal and move that out like that, all right, and stitch that up in the middle and cut only the triangle off. So I'm ending up with a sheet of 2 meter by 2 meter plus the cut-offs, turnover, yeah. So that's my way around in getting the right size I'm gonna start on. So in effect I get a piece like that, yeah, with a seam in the middle and an extension on these 2 sides, all right? And I keep all the measurements on the top. I only extend basically the length. Well, this is the head end, yeah? So everything else I try to copy it as close as possible, but with lighter material and maybe a bit lesser options, and add a few loopy, strappy extensions so I can use that easily as a tarp, plus being a poncho, an awning and sunshade piece of equipment. Multi-usable in several ways without the need of any hooks or anything or metal bits, just by using canvas material. Yeah, just my canvas material I got right here. That's my ultralight canvas. I believe it's 180 grams per square meter or something. So it's really ultralight, and it's 100% cotton canvas. The same being used by the Tschum lightweight SOSWA Lavuu tent, the Tschum. Yeah, I got the heavy duty one, and and I made my tarp out of this material, and it works really nice. This is actually waterproofed and what is it, a paraffin treat, so it's easier to keep it watertight or re-tighten the seams just by adding some wax, and I show you how to do that as well during the process. So it's gonna be a bit an interesting project. So we got a little bobby, we got enough thread, and most important, before I start cutting anything, the planning is the main thing, because it's a one shot only. I can only use this material. Can't get any spare. Felix from Tschum, he is a bit short on material himself, so he had to delay his orders, so I don't want to bother him or squeezing some material out of him anymore. So I go with this one and hope it works out. Just a little start. The main thing is never rush. Take your time. Actually, I'm having a break. Before I start cutting anything and messing the material up, and I then have to give up my project, I take my time. Think about it, what I'm doing, and plan in advance. Work it out in my head like a cat, you know, the graphic thing. It's like having the project in my head that's spinning around all this like 3D, yeah? And before I even start using a scissor on the material. Just playing all the options through, and to avoid mistakes in just makes it easier. So there's no rush anyway. This is about take your time. Yeah, and that's it.